What's up, Rise fans? Welcome to Season 1, Episode 7 of Rise. This will, God willing, get better. Tonight we're going to be talking about Robbie's crippling self-doubt, Gwen's rebellious turn, and is Sasha getting an abortion? We'll find out. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz
Cause
begin.
every time we touch, I get this feeling. And every time we kiss, I swear I can fly. Don't you feel my heart beat fast? I want this to last. I need you by my side.
I love this song.
That
Karaoke
is the
such a
best song ever, and very fitting for this episode because there was a lot of touching.
A lot of touching.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that later, plus a fun new special segment about Spring Awakening and a little bit of news and gossip. But first, we have a lovely panel.
Smaller panel, but
Yeah,
still lovely.
we're missing two. We're missing Becca right now and Justin, but they will be back next week, hopefully. Knock on wood. But yeah, introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Chae Jones.
Hello, I'm Taylor Gates.
And let's dig right into this. I'm Mina, by the way. If you haven't been watching our previous episodes, you should definitely go on YouTube and check those out. Download iTunes. But yeah, what were your overall thoughts of this week's episode?
So many things to say. It's a lot.
There's a lot.
We're gonna get into it though.
There's
I feel
so
like
many
I cannot like
characters.
put it in one sentence right now. So
I think that it had a lot of humor though, which I really appreciated. Like I loved the whole like kind of montage of like the terrible tech rehearsal they did. I thought it was so funny. Like people were stepping in paint, like just everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I kind of liked the more playful, like fun side that we saw of Rise this episode because I thought I was been really dramatic and really serious before this.
I definitely agree with you. It's been so dark lately. We still had some of those dark elements, you know, especially if we're talking about abortion from like the very first scene.
Yeah. They did a good job mixing it though, I think.
Yeah, they had some like glimmer of hope in there, and they had some levity to it, which was definitely much needed because it's been like one tragedy after another after another issue. So it's good to like add some levity to that. But one character that's honestly dealing with a lot right now, not the worst, but dealing with a lot psychologically, is Robbie, who's dealing with a lot of self-doubt right now. You know, he gave up football for his dream of being in this play, which he didn't even realize was his passion until he was just thrust into that spotlight. What do you think of that terrible acting? What do you think of those scenes?
he did his best. I think he tried to give it the emotion it needed.
Did he really feel it? Because
But that was the problem. Like,
Did he? 'Cause he said
you're
he
asking
did.
you're asking for Miss Mazzu to like tell you how you want the scene to be done, but I can't tell you how the scene needs to be done. You've read the scene. You should know the emotion that needs to be in there. I can't tell you how you're gonna feel as your character right now in the scene. How many weeks have you been going over the scene? Mm-hmm. You should know what you feel, and I can't make you. I can tell you what you're supposed to feel, but that doesn't mean you're going to actually show it to me at the same time. You get what I'm meaning?
What's going on with Robbie? Why? Why is this happening?
I don't really know the why about it, but I did enjoy the fact that we got that just because I feel like the acting and the singing has been going pretty easily for him so far. Mm-hmm. So to see a little bit of struggle is like really nice because if you're just starting out acting, like he's been acting for what, like a few weeks?
Yeah.
Like it's not easy, like, and he doesn't have really any prior experience with it. So I think it's really realistic to see him, especially getting nervous. Maybe it's just because the date's approaching so fast and he's like just getting more anxious and more nervous and doubting himself more and more.
Yeah.
But I like that they had that element in it because I feel like it's a thing that could definitely really happen.
Do you know what I think? Honestly, I think that Robbie is way too scared to tap into that emotion because it hits so close to home. What's happening in this play, Spring Awakening, is talking about the loss of a best friend and the love of your life. And right now, he's actually dealing with his mom being in the hospital.
Yeah.
So I don't think he wants to get into that territory because it's so emotional, and he hasn't been able to deal with it in real life and grapple with the fact that he might be losing his mother, that's a very dark place to visit, especially when you're just acting in a high school play. This isn't Broadway. He's not, like, training for an Oscar, so it is
Tony.
Extremely, Tony.
An
Tony.
award.
I'm just like, since we're talking about Broadway, I have to, like, throw that out there for
It's
clarification.
Yeah, but this is a TV show.
And in that same vein, he is also kind of losing his, like, best friends from the football team, because we saw that at the party, like, how there's, like, some disconnect there, and he's, like, kind of benched from that. So he, I guess, essentially is losing, like, the love of his life, being his mother, and, like, his best friends on football.
Yeah.
So he is losing both, just in an interesting kind
and
of way.
And he doesn't want to have to deal with that. And that's why his scenes with Lilette are so much stronger, because he can tap into that, because he's actually feeling it in the moment. It's when art imitates life.
Yeah.
So it's much easier, like, that's method acting. He's already in love with her.
So true.
Well, not technically.
And my theories, like we were talking when we were watching the scene, was the fact that when he was, like, everything was going great for, like, in the theater, but it was, like, he wasn't giving his full potential when he was on the football field. Now I feel like everything's reversed in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's trying to still give his all to football, but that's also affecting the fact that his acting at the same time.
Yeah.
What do you two think about the dynamic between Robbie and Mr. Mazzu? Do you think that, Mr. Mazzu is warranted in his little explosion or strict coaching? Or do you think that, hey, cut the kid some slack?
Taylor?
Cut the kid some slack. I don't know. Mr. Mazzu has just been kind of bothering me more and more lately in these episodes. I just feel like he seems almost very entitled, and he's sort of, like, childish. He, like, basically threw a tantrum at this rehearsal, and, like, Tracy's trying to rein him back in and be like, listen, like, he's literally, like, 16. You have to calm down and not, like, scream at him for not, like, getting this, not right away, because it has been a long time, but it's still, like, a really vulnerable, like, difficult place to get, and so I wish that he would just be nicer.
But it's like, this isn't football. You're not just throwing a ball back and forth.
Low blow.
But whole thing about the scene between Robbie and Lou at that moment, it wasn't even about Robbie. It was about Gordy.
Yeah.
And that was, like, the point. Like, it's like, what I'm talking to you right now, it's not about you.
Mm-hmm.
It's about my son. But since somehow I can't even get to my son right now, I'm thrusting it onto as your problem.
And that
Let's talk about Gordy,
Yeah.
actually. You bring up a good point. That was about Gordy, and Gordy is taking the steps he needs to take. For the most part, he admitted that he had a problem. That's step one, and now he's going to this thing known as the 12 steps of recovery. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to get rid of this problem he has of alcoholism, and he seems to be doing quite well on the surface. But then we find out the truth, and the psychiatrist says, Gordy's good at putting on a show. Did you think that he was putting on a show, or did you think he was actually taking the steps necessary to become better and to recover?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's obviously going through withdrawals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can tell, like, he's very jittery still. Like, it's like he still needs that. Like, he wants it to get through the day, but now he's kind of realizing that, maybe I am dependent on it. And then I still love when he looks like going and it kind of calms him in a sense. Like,
Yeah.
it gives him that just peace he needs to get through the rest of
She's his drug, that's why.
It's not a bad drug to have, but, yeah, that's my theory.
Yeah, in a way, I think he is putting on a show, but I don't even know if he quite realizes that he is. I feel like he thinks he really is trying his hardest and, like, getting there as fast as he can, but I think that he probably is holding back, but maybe not realizing that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. And, he does have this great psychiatrist that he's working with. But you know what I think? I think he needs a better mentor than that. I think he needs Maria Menounos. That's who could really help him. He needs to listen to one of her podcasts.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
So, do you guys want to have fun, learn, and grow in all areas of your life? For those who do, we have got the podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos Podcast Edition is hosted by our AFTERBUZZ TV founder and drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews, along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life. From health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and more, let our Maria be the big sister that you have always wanted. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos for free. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know it was us, the Rise After Show, who sent you there. Conversations with Maria Menounos Podcast Edition check it out, guys.
Check it out, guys. It's free. Like,
free.
we need a lot of free things in LA.
Yes, and there's a lot of AfterBuzz hosts that are actually like guests on it a lot, so you might see some familiar faces, which is really cool.
And even though Maria is not a psychiatrist, she does bring on people in the medical profession to talk about all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So it's honestly beneficial. It's not just career advice. It's literally anything you can think of. Her guests are phenomenal. Her interviewing style is impeccable. Like,
She's amazing,
it's
guys.
so good.
Seriously, everyone could use it in their life.
Yeah, and Gordy needs it. No, he doesn't. Like, I don't know if Gordy is ready to enter a relationship with Gwen at this point, because shouldn't you bring the best version of yourself before you get into a relationship?
But that's a double-edged sword.
Though. It is high school.
But that's a double-edged sword to say that, though. Because neither one of them are at their best right now.
Yeah.
So
like,
they find comfort and solace with each other.
But, like, I think they're both messed up individuals right now, but the point is neither cares. Or they accept the fact that they're both not doing okay.
Right.
And that's, like, a good feeling to have with another person. When you're just like, hey, I'm a mess, you're a mess, you don't fault me, I don't fault you, and we can just be ourselves, mess and all. And that's, for high school, that's a great feeling.
And I think we do have to give Gordy some credit, because he is, although he's apparently not putting in, like, all of the work, like, he is taking the time to go, like, he's trying at least a little bit. Like, is he doing every single thing he can? Maybe not, but he's putting some work in it. He's not denying, you know, the fact that he's a problem anymore. So, like, I think he's getting there, and I would like to give him some credit for that.
I think the big
Yeah.
step is if he admits to Gwen he has a problem. I think that would
Yeah.
be, for me, that would be, like, the biggest step he could take. Because,
He
like,
did,
only his
though.
family, no, he just says, you call me. There's no reason and why you call me, you just do.
No, I mean, he did admit that he had a problem to his parents. That's what I'm saying. Because otherwise...
No, besides his parents, besides his family.
Okay,
like,
got it.
Unless other people know, and you're just keeping it condensed to one little small area.
It's hard to be held accountable.
Yeah. And,
Yeah,
like, and also be called upon it. Like, hey, like, I see you about to go maybe spiral. Let me try to help you as a friend to get back on the road that you need to be on right now, because you do want to get help, apparently. But, like, just keeping it just within the family, that's a good start. But he has a long path to go.
Were you guys expecting the climax that happened? Literally. Were you guys expecting the climax that happened between Gordy and Gwen? Because I didn't see it coming. I honestly did not see it coming this soon.
I won't say I didn't expect it. I won't say I was not. How do you word that?
It didn't surprise you.
It didn't surprise me.
But you weren't expecting it.
Yeah, I didn't.
I was expecting it. I don't think I was expecting it this episode, but definitely, like, it was leading there.
I agree. I thought they were just
Happened
gonna
early.
maybe kiss, but once she got that nose piercing, there was no stopping
First of
her.
all, she did the a la Parent Trap version too. I'm like, first of all, I don't know
Yeah.
if that's safe. Like, did you light this
Of
needle
course
before
not.
you stuck it
This
into
is
yourself?
Gwen.
You just put ice on you, and then you just like no, not even a tear. I don't know what I was expecting when she did it, but I was thinking some kind of emotion more than just like an indifference to the fact that I'm sticking a needle into my nose.
I do have to say though, I am glad they just had her pierce her nose, and because I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna like go drinking or like get on drugs or something. It's like, okay, a nose piercing, like, I can live with. Like, that's a little bit lower stakes.
Honestly, when Lou Mazzu was saying that I should have just made her Sandy in the remake of Grease, I was like, she is Sandy from Grease, though. She's the good girl going bad, but isn't fully corrupt, just has that, like, outward facade of being, like, the bad girl now.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Gordy's kind of like the John Travolta character that is, like, you know, kind of like this bad boy trying to become good in a way. So I love that they're both foils to each other and they have different personalities. And that's why I think the line, when we were watching the scene where they're both in geometry class or in math class, Chae's like, this isn't, what are you talking about? Why is this line important? And I was like, because it's
symbolic.
Yeah,
She
it
was
was
like, circled it,
I
guys.
circled symbolic on my notes here because the math teacher said, parallel lines will never touch, intersecting lines will. And you kind of see that there are intersecting lines. They're going on different paths, but the paths are going to come together at some point because Gwen is becoming more like Gordy and Gordy is becoming more like Gwen. And I think that's very interesting that, you know, they're finally meeting now.
Yep.
I think for me, because when I heard out there, just thought like as a math person, yeah, parallel lines don't touch. Like, that's also why I looked at you when you said that. I was like, what are you talking about symbolic? I don't understand.
I was like, let's play this in slow motion.
Like, my mathematical brain was just like, yeah, like, that's correct. Like, what are you talking? I was like, so confused.
Everything's a symbol.
Everything's symbolic. Everything is just a little egg here and an egg there for you to, like,
Definitely.
Burst it open.
That's TV for you.
Man, but speaking of like drama, but just besides like Macius, Macius had some. It was so sad. I was like watching a puppy get kicked.
And honestly, Macius, I've never seen a character that sweet. Like, he radiates purity, and he's just so angelic, and even when he was mad, it was like, that's all you got? That's all you got?
Like, that's a lot of worse things you could have said besides, I didn't think there was a no lying sign on the door. Like, I could have thought a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
I did go, oh, though. I was like, Macius.
It was just like, what is these things you're saying, Macius? Like, what happened to our little boy?
Yeah. He's
that whole...
Literally Mandy Moore from A Walk to Remember. He's just like the purest, cutest little thing. And I'm like, how? His circumstances are so rough and intense, and yet he has this pure heart and is just so kind.
Some things, when something tragic happens to certain people, especially when you grow up in situations like Macius, you somehow still keep your angelic, like purity. I feel like you still keep your innocence. And people always wonder why, and it's just, I always find it interesting. I think because I feel like if he does lose that innocence, he will break. And I think that's the one thing that hasn't broken him. It's his innocence. His innocence is right now still intact, and it's his strength at the same time, you know? Like, it's keeping him, like, strong. Even when he's...
Despite this risque Spring Awakening play, he's still super innocent and pure.
Well, I mean, he's the only one not, like, in a, like, real situation. He's dealing more, like, family, like, his mom wants to come back and... take him, and that has to be reality check, because if my mom takes me back, I have to leave Stanton. Yeah. I have to leave this nice family I finally deserve. And in a way, I think that's also what he's scared of too, which is why he hasn't said anything.
I have not even been like the biggest Gail fan. Like, she's been okay. Like, but I haven't been like,
I agree.
Oh, I love her so much. I loved her this episode. Like, I loved the moments between her and Macius, and like,
she was firm but sweet.
Yes, like she was like the mom that we all deserve. Like, in one, you know what I mean? I don't know. I really liked that, and I thought that, like, I was very confused on the whole like dryer situation at first. I was like, what is he doing with the shoe? Like, I don't.
He's trying to dry his, like, ain't you ever tried to dry some sneakers?
Because no, I've never tried to dry sneakers.
No, I actually have. Before,
I have not.
I have.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I've never.
Like, have you broken the dryer?
Oh no, I haven't, but it made like a lot of noise.
I've never tried to dry my tennis shoes.
Seriously?
I know I haven't.
How do you get them clean?
Well, I don't know.
You gotta listen to Maria Menounos. She'll give you all the life hacks.
But I was like very confused. I was like, is he playing a prank or something? I don't know. It was weird, but then I understood, and I was like, that's a smart way to kind of get there. And the fact that he was just like trying to fix it because he was so scared of how they're going to react. Oh,
yeah,
it just broke my heart.
He's like, because for him, like I said, I think he's scared, which is also why he hasn't told them. Like, he's like, if I tell you, oh, now I'm gonna get kicked out of the one place that actually feels like, you know, I could be happy. But like, then she, like, I love to go for this. I'm just like, look, we're gonna argue, we're gonna be mad, but we're still gonna be coming to this breakfast table, we're gonna eat together, we're gonna have a conversation.
They keep losing like one person from the school one at a time. I wish it just happened at the same time, just to see how everyone.
Bye-bye, mass exodus.
Bye everyone. I guess there's no play going on.
But the thing is, like, if there is no Macius, I feel like there is no show.
No, for sure. He's the glue. It's the glue of Spring Awakening.
I mean, if there's no... I always thought if there's no Mr. Mazzu, there's no show, but clearly we saw there was still a
Rosie
show
Perez is
with
here,
no
it's
Mr.
fine.
Mazzu. It was fine. Tracy is still, like, killing it. And she steps in when everything hits the fan with Lou and his self-doubt and his frustration.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Robbie this episode. He's kind of lost all hope. There's a lot going on with Lou and Gail. We didn't see a ton of them together, but we did see like how they're balancing all of these different things in their lives.
Yep.
But I want to talk about a different set of parents. I want to talk about Lilette's mom, Vanessa, and Coach, Gwen's dad.
Ooh.
What is happening? He's reverting, but I can't blame him in a way because the chemistry is intense.
Okay, you say reverting. I just don't think it's reverting. I don't know, for me, okay.
Well, he
obviously
made
he
a
lost
mistake
his
and
wife.
he's going back to that. What was a mistake in the past? Maybe it's not a mistake anymore.
Okay, yeah, okay, I agree with that. I don't think it's a mistake anymore. Okay, to me, it's still a mistake only because he's still married. For me, at least until divorce papers are signed, that's when we can hook up in your hotel room as much as we like because we're adults.
Motel.
A room
sketchier.
that is paid and that I work for, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like that's a little bit I would appreciate if she would have been like, what are we, like when she at the end, what are we doing? Is like, he's like, is it still okay if I take a little bit more time? No, it's not okay. Because I'm lying to my daughter. I'm trying to give her a better version of myself, but I'm all, like, she's reverting back to almost who she was before the beatdown she did over at the diner. And that's what I don't like.
Right.
I want her to stand up.
But here's the thing, though. I do feel like we saw a different side of Vanessa, just because even though she was doing those things, she still stepped up as a mom. She still went out of her way to make her
on
daughter
her way home to have a cover.
And she's lying, too.
I know it was a cover, but at the same time, like, I don't know. Like, is what she's doing the worst thing in the world? I'm playing devil's advocate here because I'm very torn.
I don't think it's the worst thing. I feel like they're both, because they're both going through their own different things. And they're both trying to snatch just, like, little piece of happiness that they can when everything is basically not going okay. And do I begrudge them for that? No, I don't begrudge them for that. But doing it as a way to avoid the problems you need to be dealing with, that's what I have an issue with.
And they're kind of putting themselves before their kids, because this makes things very awkward for Lila and Gwen, I feel like. And so I just think it's kind of a selfish move, especially because he's still married. Like, if he was divorced, like, I would still not be here for it, but I would understand it more and, like, be a little bit more, like, sympathetic and, like, you know, forgiving of the situation.
Is it bad if the kids don't find out, though?
Oh,
they're going to.
Gwen is going to let it rip.
Yeah, we know it's going to happen.
Oh, that's a prediction for early, but yeah, it's going to go all
on her
out.
way to give him her one slice of pepperoni pizza.
Yeah.
She wanted to forgive him.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's hard.
That really, I mean, if you didn't turn away that night, maybe it wouldn't have happened. I'm not saying that, like, it's Gwen's fault, because it's not. Certain circumstances just happened. However, it would have been a very different thing if she just would have let him drive her home. This wouldn't be happening right now. That's me playing devil's advocate.
I'm just not here for it. And that, like,
you don't like them as a couple?
No, and like just objectively, and like I just don't like them.
Don't they both deserve to find love?
I think that's it for me. That's why I like it so much. They actually do, and they're actually good with each other. I think they're good for each other.
I don't even have good rationale really about why I don't want them to be together. I just really don't. I just don't like it.
It's because of the way it happened.
Yeah,
and the way you get someone is the way you lose someone.
Yeah, it's like a little bit like shady, and I just
I feel like
I just want Lilette to be happy.
Well, what about who do we ship then? Other than Gwen and Gordy, who do we ship?
Lilette
do we
and
ship
Robbie?
Jeremy and Simon? Yes,
do we ship them?
I need to know more about Jeremy. I feel like we don't know anything about him. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe you guys would be cute, but like,
their
what's
chemistry
your
is off
personality?
the charts, though.
Yeah, they're cute. And yeah. Okay, well, do you want to like talk about that whole thing right
about
now?
Robbie and Lilette.
Let's talk about the love triangle. Yeah, well, obviously Robbie and Lilette make sense. Yeah, no, that's a given. We don't even have to talk about that. We've already agreed on that. But no, let's talk about the love triangle between Annabelle, Simon, and Jeremy.
Taylor can go
this
first.
is an intense love triangle right
here. I just feel so sad for Annabelle. I feel
bad for Jeremy, honestly.
I feel bad for literally everyone in the situation, to be honest.
Except for Simon.
No, I feel bad for Simon
Simon probably
too.
has it the hardest because he's torn. Like, I feel like it's, in a way, it's harder to be Simon because it's hard for someone who isn't comfortable with that identity yet.
Yeah.
I think he really does have it the most difficult. Because all of this is happening and it's on his hands. It's not like it's happening to him. It's happening because of him and to him.
Yeah, that's true. It's like it's basically like all his decision right now. It's like he has to make the choice for himself. Like he can't just be like a passive character.
It's not an easy choice when you live with your parents and you can get disowned for something like that.
I feel so sad. I really do.
What
feel
should
sad
he do?
For all of them.
I don't know. I'm not gonna say I don't have no sympathy. I just still don't agree with the fact using your own problem.
Using Annabelle as a way to cover up.
As a way to cover
up
your issue. Like, there's a way, if you were still on the fence about Jeremy, there's a way you could have gone about without trying to say, oh, now let's get physical. Like, there's a way you could do that without where she's going to get hurt and where you already have your clothes off in bed. You're like, oh, I can't do this. Because I felt bad for Annabelle in that moment. Any girl, that moment, you're just like, oh, it's not about me. Because it feels like it is about me. And, like, even though that was not your intention, and I totally understand that's not your intention, that's, you know, your decision that you made to go down this road leads here. Right. I feel like that could have been just a better way to get to where he needs to go and find out his own decision, make up his own mind about his own identity without just hurting her that way. I just felt so terrible.
Taylor, what is the proper way to go about this love triangle?
Oh gosh.
Is there a proper way to go about it?
I don't know. I really do. I feel like it's so messy that it's just so, like, there's no easy choice.
Is there a way for him to redeem himself without coming out?
I think I think at that point you might have to, not even come out. Just he has to accept what he's going through and who he is. Because until that happens, like this is just still gonna be a mess. Your scene's still not gonna be right. You can't touch the person you actually want to touch.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you lied, and you still never had sex with nobody, and then you hurt two people you actually genuinely care about, even though obviously you care about one more in a romantic aspect.
Right.
It's just a
He's
big
definitely,
bummer.
yeah, honestly, struggles with identity are probably the toughest struggles, and no one knows that better than Michael, who is transitioning. That, I don't even know how anyone would navigate something that complex, especially in a high school setting, but we see him talking to Sasha, the girl who's pregnant right now, and he tries to go after her to really understand what she's going through, but she goes into the women's restroom. And I felt like that was just like this intense reminder, oh, I can't go in there anymore.
I didn't even notice that, but that's a really good point.
I also think she did it because she knew he wouldn't.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Didn't even realize that when I was watching it.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, oh, this is just a reminder that Michael is trans. And
Yeah.
I also think it was a dig towards him because they used to be friends. And then they obviously drifted apart and Michael put distance between them. And now, in a way, I understand.
They weren't friends. They were friends. They were more than that.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
they were
sensed that there was something else
Oh.
underneath it. You didn't.
No, they were just
sense that?
friends.
Are you sure about that?
best friends. Yeah, Michael said it.
Yeah.
I could see it being either.
Because they said best friends, but then I felt like there was like this underlying, there was something else there that was unspoken.
I mean, I can see
felt
what you're saying.
It was like very palpable.
But I don't think either of them even recognizes it in a sense, like almost like I can see definitely like they're the odd couple. Like I can see them being a couple.
That's
but
what
I also
she
think
said.
that's why like
they were weird together. Like it sounded like a relationship that was an unstated relationship.
But I also think that's why like Michael put distance between them. Because obviously he's transitioning in his own way, but maybe he's also starting to realize, I might have feelings for Sasha.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I didn't really pick up on that then, but I can see it now that you say it. Like looking back, I'm like, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's just me.
We will see how that
But
plays
it's also
out.
a double-edged sword too in the
so
same
much
way because she's
going
trying to
on.
push him away from her own stuff.
Yeah.
And you're blaming him for doing the same thing to you.
Does her dad actually know? Because I thought that was...
Tracy showed up. Tracy
Yeah.
went with her. Oh, he
Yeah.
knows.
But like, is he accepting it? Like,
Yeah.
we don't know that
We don't
part.
Yeah, does he like really know? Like, does he really... Has he
think that
absorbed it?
Oh, right. I think that, I don't know, this is a prediction, I don't want to get too far in, but I feel like he knows and is not happy, and Sasha's lying about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like, he's so cool with it, and I don't think he is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He has no job. I'm pretty sure he's like, I already have you to feed and I have no money. How are we gonna feed this new kid that's about to come out of you?
Yeah, and this kid is gonna... Who's he gonna look like? Is he gonna look like Aaron Carter, or is he gonna...
Really, I
look
wish you stopped
Carter.
calling that ex-boyfriend
I swear
Aaron
to
Carter,
you,
man.
I swear to you, that kid looked exactly like Aaron Carter. I was like, he's made a comeback. He's made his cameo.
And
No one else saw that?
And Aaron Carter probably lost an extra like 20 pounds or something. Like,
Aaron
what are you
Carter's
talking
also
about?
too old now.
He has. No, let us know in the comments. Does that guy look like Aaron Carter?
I really
we need to know.
Most important
I
We really need to know.
have to see like two pictures side by side because I'm just like, well, she kept saying that. I was just like, what? Like, what are you saying?
I swear, I've never seen a resemblance that's more on point than that in a
Amazing.
while. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Are there any other characters you would like to delve into? Because I feel like we got the majority of that.
Oh,
Anything else?
Lou. Okay, for me, sometimes I don't agree with Taylor about how she feels about Lou. I did today only in just in like a smidge of a sense because Tracy knows she's done so many shows there. Use her by going scene by scene, not just trying to do a full run through with some kids who haven't even done it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I love the passion that he's like, okay, I'm gung ho, let's do it. But like, dude, this is also your first performance, and Tech Week is hell for a reason. Everything will go wrong for intake week for a reason.
Yeah.
So we need to pace ourselves.
We do.
Yes, Tracy has had to calm him down like so many times and to fix all these situations for him. I'm like, Tracy should be the director. I'm sorry, but like she should.
Yeah, she really should. But
She
the
should.
thing that's so frustrating is whenever something happens in their personal lives, it trickles into their performances.
Yes.
And it's like, can
Yeah.
we be professional for a second? I know we're kids here, but
Yeah.
come on, let's just get the act together and act.
Yeah.
Like we're separating that for now, okay? Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
But what I would like to do is I would like to talk about this new segment that we have right now called Fun Facts. We are going to be talking about Spring Awakening. We do have a fun fact.
Yes,
Taylor,
guys,
take
I
it
have
away.
a fun fact. I actually did my sign language project on this a few years ago because in 2015, the Deaf West, which is like, it was a mixture of hearing actors and deaf actors, put on a production of Spring Awakening, and it got like super, super good reviews. I'm pretty sure that it ended up doing a performance at the Tony Awards, and it starred Marlee Matlin, who was on like Switched at Birth and a bunch of shows. But yeah, I just thought that was a fun little fact to share because like I think that really kind of encompasses like Spring Awakening as a whole, like the communication barriers and like being different but being accepted in a community, and it's really cool. I did a lot of research on it, and if you guys want to learn more, just Google it, the Spring Awakening
love
Deaf West
that.
production. Yeah.
That's super cool, and it shows that, I mean, yeah, that is super inclusive, but it kind of mirrors how the show is.
For sure.
Not just Spring Awakening in the play, but how Spring Awakening is being portrayed in Rise, where they're including everybody. They're including people of color, like Robbie. They're including like an interracial connection between Lillette and Robbie.
Yeah.
They're including a trans person. They're including so many different types of people that it's just refreshing to see people portraying those characters who actually come from that same background in a sense. Yeah, it's all about representation in art, and I think that's definitely a step in the right direction. I wonder if Spring Awakening is going to kind of reflect what's going on in their personal lives apart from the play, and if there's going to be some parallels there. So why don't we get into predictions right now and see?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
Predictions. Take it away.
Okay, I can go. So obviously I think that we are going to end up meeting Macius's birth mom, and I hope that since he and Gail had that talk and she kind of reassured him that hopefully they can like either help him transition or like if it's a bad situation, like help him out of it. I just hope that connection like lasts even if he does end up having to like go live with his mom for a while. And I also think that we're gonna see more of the Tracy, Sasha kind of maternal mentor relationship. There's like a little tiny sliver of it in the promo, and that's also just like really hopeful thinking because I just love those two.
For me, Gwen's gonna let out the bag to Lillette, or if not, like it might last like the season finale, and maybe like after they do a great performance, Gwen's mom and Lillette's mom's gonna have a showdown, and I'm actually here for it. Like, I would just love to see that.
I wonder what it would be like if both of them were to discover their parents at the same time together. Like, if they would ever band together and be like, this is not okay.
I hope so.
Like, maybe it could make them closer and not drift. That's my optimistic thinking. Maybe it can bring them together in some weird, messed up way. You're like, no.
I don't know. But I just really hope maybe they can, like, Simon will figure out, and maybe he'll come out to his mom, because she seems very, like, she's understanding a lot more. Maybe the dad understands what he is. Like, you know, like, some parents have that sense, but they don't acknowledge it, which also why I think he pushed St. Francis so hard. Because maybe he felt like if he moved there, like, it would get him away from it.
Right.
Which I just find really funny thinking by a parent. But okay.
It's like nurture versus nature. Like, maybe certain things won't be brought out in a different environment. That's probably what his dad is thinking.
That's all I got for you, Dad. Okay.
Okay, what do you two think about the teaser where we kind of see that
Sex
tickets, sex definitely sells, because we see that the little commercial that Mr. Mazzu puts together.
He didn't put someone
else did it?
Somebody
Yeah,
they don't know
else
who
did
did
it.
it. Somebody else put it up.
Yeah, it was literally just intense sexual scene after intense sexual scene after intense sexual scene from the play. And then we find out tickets are going to sell out next week.
Yeah, their opening is sold out, but now here comes the PTA.
Mr. Mazzu can sell those 30 tickets at a profit now. Yeah, that was a smart investment.
But the PTA is now involved, which brings a whole other slew of parents we're gonna meet. Well, I'm actually looking for who kid might be in the play that might actually be a part of the PTA. But I also loved how they tried to blame Mr. Mazzu for it. I'm like, I didn't put it up here.
I'm wondering.
I don't know what you want me to do.
It was like one of the PTA people being like, "Look how bad this is," and then it'll just like backfire and like sell a bunch of tickets. That's my theory.
That's so interesting.
Well, that's like telling the kid, "You better not do that."
Yeah, seriously.
Was it me?
Now
Look at how bad this is.
Who's the most tech savvy person who would do the editing? Macius is the only one we know.
I feel like
Macius, but he's so pure.
But I don't think he would do it though. He has his own stuff going on, so if it's not Macius, I mean, maybe Gordy. I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like maybe somebody we haven't even met yet. It could like be like somebody we have never we've seen obviously, but we have never even met that character. We haven't seen that name attached to that character. So
yeah,
I feel like that would be a nice surprise.
It will, and I do want to delve in a little bit into Sasha really quickly because we don't find out if she's going to get the abortion or not. She's still on the fence of what she's going to do. What do you think she'll decide by next week, or will she even reach a decision by next week?
I personally hope she keeps it and maybe give it for adoption. Like, try to give, if she can't, take care of it, try to give the child a better life. Personally, that's just me because that's my opinion about situations in that department. If she does it, it's her body, it's her choice. I can't make it for her, so I'm just going to wait and see.
I'm sticking with my assumption that Tracy's going to adopt it from last week.
Yeah, I have no idea. It could go either way. For some weird reason, I got the gut feeling that she's going to lose the baby in a miscarriage from all the stress that's being caused by her Aaron Carter boyfriends. I shouldn't say that. I don't know his name. I'm sorry.
I don't think he has a name. I feel like maybe
he's
they did.
nameless.
I feel like maybe they did, and I just can't remember.
Yeah, mean boyfriend number one.
Yeah.
No, mean ex-boyfriend number
I definitely think that, something traumatic like that will happen, which if it does, that'll be an interesting conversation to talk about, like losing a child, which is really depressing and dark, but it does definitely happen all the time. So it would be interesting to see that play out. We do have a little bit of news and gossip, by the way.
Yes, we do. So hey guys,
AfterBuzz TV News.
That was extreme. I love it.
that is new. That was
jarring.
Awesome.
That was
Where
the
did it
news
come
for
from?
you, is that we have new sound effects.
Hey guys, so I have news for you. So we might have a special guest Skyping in next Tuesday. And if you want to know a little bit more about him, check out his show on YouTube Red called Youth and Consequences. It's very different from his character on Rise. He actually is
We're talking about Simon.
Who
are we talking about?
Jeremy. We're talking about, so his real name is Sean Grandillo. So Jeremy is supposed to be Skyping in with us next week, and he has a show on YouTube Red called Youth and Consequences. Actually, he plays a hacker. Not a very good one, but he does that. And the writing is freaking amazing. Like if you thought you knew what high school was on Rise, you need to see Youth and Consequences to get like you need a Mean Girl experience meets Pretty Little Liars, and it's so amazing. Like just the way it's scripted, the way it's written, and it's very female empowered, which I also love. Most of the actors are very strong women characters, and most of the people who worked on the crew was very female oriented.
Right.
So it's very female empowerment, like, and also just sometimes somebody's gonna screw you over, but like also the person you think who screwed you over is gonna be the person that lifts you right back up, which is also what I love so much about Youth and Consequences. But also, because we're teenagers, well, we're not anymore. I forgot we're grown women. But teenagers, like when you are youth, there are consequences, and this show really does breach a lot of amazing themes. And I feel like when teens watch it, they're really going to connect and relate to it. It's a very relatable show.
Awesome.
That sounds super. Do you work for this show? You're definitely sold. Are you on PR for this?
I have a friend on it, so
you gotta plug it. No, I'm sold.
But
now.
he's amazing on it. Like he has this little scene where we need to go into the cone of silence, which is basically him going into his shower in his little trailer.
Don't spoil it. We're gonna find out all about that next week. Don't spoil it anymore. But that's just enough to keep everyone at home watching this on YouTube or listening to this on iTunes. Super excited. Don't forget to like and subscribe on iTunes, and make sure that when you subscribe to YouTube, you subscribe to AfterBuzz TV Dramas. And also make sure to follow AfterBuzz TV on Instagram and Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. There's so much great stuff on there, not just Rise, but so many other dramas you can check out. Where can they find you guys? Just not just social media, but also what other shows are you doing?
Yeah. Sorry, I can go. You guys can find me on Twitter at alphaba_Ann, on Instagram at Taylor_Gates_. I am also on the Law & Order SVU after show every Thursday at 8 o'clock, and I'm going to be starting to do the 100 after show on CW next week at 11 p.m., but if you can't watch live, just watch it the next morning, because I know that's very late.
Hey guys, you can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram. Tomorrow, Deception, we have the creator of Deception coming to the studio. It's going to be amazing. And I'm feeling it on Riverdale. There is so much to talk about. Midge, gotta rest in peace.
Also, Becca and Justin aren't here today, but you can find Becca on social media at Becca B Talks TV and Justin at It's Your Boy Jay Yang, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And you can find me on Instagram at Mina Makes Magic. And also, I will be doing the panel for a new show on National Geographic. It's actually season 2 of a show called Genius, but this time, instead of focusing on Albert Einstein, they will be focusing on Pablo Picasso, who is portrayed by Antonio Banderas. He does an incredible job, so make sure to tune into that on Tuesdays, and we will see you all next week. Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.